Hi everyone and welcome to my updated Season 28 leveling guide with Challenge with Cash. I will have a second video talking about the strategy without the cash. There will be similarities, but there is also some huge differences in how you approach the entire leveling process. If you don't know at all what I mean, in Season 28 there is this altar of rights and you will have to sacrifice a Challenge with Cash at level 15. So this means that some people will save it until that step and then continue onwards, and other people will open that Challenge with Cash to have a better start, but then you get stuck at this step. What you do is ultimately up to you, and I have another video discussing what you should do. So without blowing up this video here too much with the other details, let's get into it. So you create your first character when the season starts and create a hero, and then you can do the Challenge Rift. Make sure you do not complete the Challenge Rift before the season has officially started, or else you will not be able to claim it in the season. So go there, do this, and then you also create another character, which is going to be a Necromancer if you have Necromancer. If you don't, you do it with a Witch Doctor, but let's say you have it. So this is just for the early levels. So the reason why you want to do this is because you need to reach level 18 as fast as possible, and after that you can massively speed up your progression in Season 28. And Necromancer does this way better than anyone else. So as a Necromancer, you start the game on Master difficulty. Necromancer is simply that strong, and you will start blasting away to the cube, because you want to get the cube as early as possible. So you log in, you open your letter here and open the Challenge with Cash. You go to a Blacksmith, you craft one level 5 axe, then one level 10 dagger, and a level 12 sword. And like this, you have some items already that will get you started. And then you can also do a two-handed sword here with level 15. And if you're really fancy, you can also do like the next one, which is 19, but that should not really be needed. Make sure you don't accidentally salvage these items here. So put them somewhere where you will keep them. A little trick that you can use on the PC client is you can transmog these items so that you don't auto-salvage them when you go to the Blacksmith. Then you go here and hire the Templar and take his weapon, which is a very nice starter weapon. You can also take the shield and throw away your starting weapon. After that, you go to New Tristram here in Act 1. Behind the Slaughtered Calf Inn, there is this altar, which right now is not here because this is Season 27. But here will be this altar structure. And you go there and unlock the first reward, which is doubled Massacre streaks and doubled duration of Massacre streaks. And this is one of the reasons why leveling is going to be so fast. So after this, you go to Ruins of Sescheron and blast your way through to the Elder Sanctum, to the cube, and you try to keep a really long Massacre streak. Massacre streaks are usually already one of the most valuable strategies, and now they are way better than usual. So especially in the second part, in Elder Sanctum, you will be able to just blast your way through once you start equipping those high level weapons. And you get Corpse Explosion at level 4 on a Necromancer, which is just ridiculous to get started with. So you see here, you one-shot most of these enemies easily, and then you try to get to level 4. At that point, you can probably drop your Massacre and then just keep blasting with a second round. And if that runs out between levels, it's not too bad. You mostly have to make sure that you get like a, like a 300, 400 streak or something like that in the second floor, so that you get to level 18. So the skills that you want to use here is Corpse Explosion mostly. Whenever you see corpses and there's enemies nearby, just blow them up like this, boom, and it should be very easy and very smooth. And you see here that the timer is very short on the Massacre bonus, but if you keep moving forward with the double duration, it should be quite easy in the season. So I've done this on the PTR, and trust me, this is way better than usual. So once you arrive here in Elder Sanctum, you equip your weapon if you can already. You can also put the heal on your Templar. And you can also maybe select like another skill here, for example, the mages. But it doesn't really matter, Corpse Explosion is the way, so you can use Bone Spear or the mages and just blast your way through. Later on, though, you do want to switch to the mages for a bit of extra single target damage. So once you're level 18, your setup should look like this. If you reach the cube and you do not have level 18 yet, then you should go to Temple of the Firstborn, which is like the way to level usually with Massacre bonuses. And you just go here until you have level 18. And once you're done with that, you can immediately leave because you're going to abandon this character soon after. So now you try to do Magda or Sword and Cool bounties. So you go there on normal difficulty. We actually have a Magda here. So the reason why level 18 is so important is because at this point you can get gems. And those gems will unlock the second part in the altar, which is items have no level requirements. So you need to find 2 diamonds, which you can get earliest at level 18, and can get them easiest from those boss bounty chests. So you go there to either Sword and Cool or Magda, just walk there, blow them up, and open the chest. And you need 2 diamonds to convert them into 1 flawless diamond, which is relatively consistent to get. I'd say the average amount of kills that you have to do to get 2 diamonds is maybe 2 boss bounties. So it's very easy, and it will take like maybe a minute or 2 or 3 maximum. So you go here, you press the golem, have some corpses, you can summon some mages, command the skeletons, and then, well, maybe I should equip the higher level weapon, and you blow them up. So here you go, and you can open this chest, and you see now there's topaz, emerald. So we got unlucky here, and you might have to do this again, maybe once or twice. So once you have those 2 normal diamonds, you go to the jeweler and upgrade them. So this is just this first recipe here. And again, you go to the altar and unlock the second seal. So we say goodbye here, and we log in our main character, and now you can really start blasting. So at this point you want to do Torment 6 most likely, and you will be able to craft full level 70 gear pretty much. So you start with a weapon. So in the case of a Demon Hunter, we go for bow, for example. But if you're playing any other class, usually it's like a 2-handed sword or 2-handed axe or something like that. So it's kind of up to you if you want to have like a harder hitting weapon or a faster weapon. So you will be able to wear any of these items now. So you craft 1 piece of level 70 gear in every slot. You can even do the Sage set, which is a free recipe that you just have from the start. So you can do that to also get the double TBs very early. And later on you can put it on your follower. So you can craft 1 of these, and then you just go through and craft like 1 pair of boots, 1 pair of helm, gloves, etc. until you have like pretty much full level 70 gear. And if you have a little bit of materials left or so, you can also try to maybe roll an item once or twice here at Miriam to try to get a bit more stats, especially main stats like in strength, dex, and vitality are really what you're looking for. Also, don't forget that you can actually upgrade 1 item to legendary when you have the challenge with cash. So in this case, for example, on a Demon Hunter, this would be a dagger, but for other classes, usually it's like a class-specific weapon, like a 2-handed mighty weapon on the bard, or a flail on the crusader, and a ceremonial knife, etc. And those are usually those items that you're looking for to upgrade into like a really good item. But at least for leveling, this should not really be necessary, but it will make your life easier towards later levels at like 50 plus, and also to get started if you get something good at level 70. Another option is also to simply upgrade the 2-handed weapon that you are going to use. For example, you can do a mace that can go into a furnace. For most classes, that's not a bad choice at least. And maybe on a Demon Hunter, you can do something like the bow, just upgrade it and maybe roll yanks or something, which is really nice to start with. In this case, you get a leonine bow, and you have like a bit of a stronger weapon than this yellow one that you would otherwise wear. So now if these items have no level requirement unlock, you can equip all of your items that you just crafted. I'm on the live server right now, so I can't do that. So I'm just going to add like a bit of like paragons or so. You're going to have something like 2,000-3,000 stats, and you're going to be absolutely destroying Torment 6. So my suggestion here is you just do Massacre chains and get to level 70 really fast. You can do this in as little as like 20 minutes on a good run, or even faster, depending on what you got. And you see here, okay, I'm like with Gem of East now. This is a bit faster than it should be. I like to go to Halls of Agony first for like a few levels, just like a minute or something, to get like my initial setup basically like this. And then I will start blasting in Temple of the Firstborn. So this is where you really want to level. At this point, you just want to walk through this zone here and essentially just 1 or 2 shot like pretty much everything. You see this is like very easy. With this weapon, I don't have anything in the cube. And I'm probably a bit weaker than I would otherwise be with all the items that I would wear now in Season 28. But you can also see that if you stay on Torment 6 and you play like a rather weak setup, for example, multi-shot is not really a really high DPS skill, you are starting to slow down in kills at level 50, for example. So you might want to adjust the difficulty down a little bit as you go, in case it turns out to be too slow. So you see this here, like I'm taking a lot of damage. I'm not really one-shotting these bigger guys anymore. And at this point, for example, you would definitely want to go down to something like Torment 5 or Torment 4. There's also option B, which is that you can do bounties when you start out. So this will ensure that you get to level 70 in a decent amount of time, probably slower than you would otherwise do it with just Temple of the Firstborn runs. But the advantage is that if you have your bounties completed, you will be able to unlock your Hades gift much faster, and you don't have to do bounties again at level 70. So this is actually a strategy that I have grown to enjoy quite a lot. So once I start my second character here, this Demon Hunter, at level 1, I would straight up just go and start bounties on like Torment 6 or Torment 5 or something like that. For example, you can start in Act 1, maybe get lucky and get a Ring of Royal Grandeur. And you just go like through the acts, and again, maybe potentially reduce the difficulty as you go. Makes it a bit slower than the Temple of the Firstborn runs. But for Chapter 3 of the Season Journey, you have to complete all 5 acts to get your Hades gift. So instead of delaying this until level 70, I would rather do it early. And I think that overall ends up a bit faster, and you can still level with Massacre chains on your way to the bounty objectives. The only thing to note here is that you have to turn in at least one of the bounty acts at level 70, because otherwise you don't get Jeweler plants, and you also need 5 of those. So you can already complete the bounty run before level 70, but you have to turn it in at 70. So you get 1 plant from that, and then you buy the 2 million gold Hellfire Ring recipe, which is actually 4 recipes. So this gives you those 5 that you need for the season journey. If you somehow don't end up at level 70 after doing those 4 or 5 acts of bounties, then you can just go back to the Temple of the Firstborn and complete the last few levels. And you have already done the most important objectives for the season journey. And then it's just about getting to GR20, killing those key wardens, and you have your full Hades gift set. And you can easily blast like at least Torment 6, Torment 8 or so on pretty much any class. Now let's talk about gambling items real quick. So when you open a challenge with cash, you also have blood shards. You get 475 blood shards. So you have the option to either spend it at level 1 or use it at level 70, or potentially also make like a second character again to gamble for specific items at a certain level. So depending on which class you're playing, this might be a really good strategy. So the items that you could gamble that are really good at level 1 are usually some of the multipliers. In the case of barbarians, for example, they have good braces there, or the monks as well. On the Demon Hunter, there's not really much. I have a full list of what I suggest to gamble for different classes down in the description. But one thing that always works is the helm. So you can try to get the Lorik's crown, for example. We got that here. Or you can also try to get a ring with Lorik's signet. So this is quite helpful. Or something like Pox Vaults even, which is like a nice early game item. But realistically, you're going to be so strong that you don't really need any of this stuff. And instead, for example, in Demon Hunter, I will just make another Demon Hunter, level up to 34, which will take like 2 minutes maximum. And at level 34, you would gamble, for example, the 9th series Sescheron, which you can relatively reliably get with a few hundred blood shards, as you can see here. Also in the later levels, after level 61 in particular, your leveling speed might slow down a little bit, depending on how lucky you got with your upgrades and stuff. And you can speed up again a little bit by getting some jewelry. So you go to these defense vendors, they're in every act, and you can check for items like this here, with Vitality or with Main Stat, to get a bit of extra power on your last levels to level 70. And this also covers pretty much everything there is to know for Season 28 leveling with the cash. At this point, it should be level 70 in no time. So as I mentioned, it's going to be really fast this time around with the doubled massacres and these whole level 70 items that allow you to just like blast through Torment 6 almost all the way on almost any class. As I mentioned, I will have some more details for which items to gamble and craft, etc. for all of the classes, which skills to use in the description, and also in the updated leveling guide on Maxroll that I'm working on right now, so that you can be best prepared for the season start. Hope you enjoyed this video here. I wish you good luck in Season 28, and see you guys next time.